In case if you didn't know, Nexttut is running a discount for 40% off on every single one of the courses for the new year. You can grab the code from the caption or from the screen and use it to buy any of the courses you want. Hey everybody, today we are going to talk a little bit about the topology and we are going to see what topology works and what doesn't and for what purposes. So you can see my screen and I have a couple of meshes. It's actually an arm and I'm going to show you their topology and talk about what is it made for. So this one is the basic. It's actually made of Dynamesh. You can see it's activated here in my custom ZBrush menu. And let me turn it off actually. So this topology, some people might say, is not a good topology. Well, it's actually not true saying that because every topology works for a kind of purpose. So for this purpose, activating Dynamesh is actually gonna be something to help you sculpt and get to be more free. So in case if you want to add any kind of forms here on top of this arm, then this topology works best because you don't want to spend your time working on the technical things. You just want to get the muscles, get the shape to see if your sculpture is working fine. And it's going to be the blocking stage. So this topology still works fine, but for the blocking. So let's take a look at another one. This one, as you can see, the shape is the same, but we have a different type of mesh on this. And what I did for creating this mesh is just using the Z plugin and decimation master, and I just decimated it to something around 20% or 10%, and it just uh, keep the details, the excuse me, the details, and also it actually smooths the areas that we don't have any kind of detail. So flat surfaces get like bigger triangles, and where we have some like data, like here, we get smaller triangles. So it's kind of optimized it for us. And probably you heard from someone in the industry that this topology is not a good topology and it doesn't work. But still, it's not actually true and it works as well. And the reason is this topology is for optimization and it works good, especially if you have your mesh as a static mesh. So if this one is not gonna deform, so let's say if this is like a sculpture and you want to just keep it the same way it is, this topology works. It doesn't have any issues because you don't want to do any deformation on top of it that these triangles are going to create issues for you. And on the other hand, in case if you're going to print this arm, for example, then again, this kind of topology works because you want to optimize it in case if you want to transfer the data to somebody else. So you don't want to have like millions of polygons if you don't need it. Based on the quality of the print, it matters. So this is actually an example. And in games, actually, you can see some of the meshes like this, not exactly like this. It's a little bit more optimized. And those are mainly for the assets and for the environments that we know we don't have any deformations on top of them. So this topology still works. And let's take a look at another one. So here is what you might think is going to be the proper topology for something like an arm, because we will have deformation. Maybe we want to deform it from the middle. And we can see, like if I select the lasso and just try to select these loops, you can see it's working. So we have all the loops around here towards the top. So everything should be working fine. So this is a good topology, but again, for purpose, for deformation, for have it inside kind of movie or animation. So for games, you still can optimize it at least one more level or even more. So if you think this is going to be the final look, like the kind of topology that you're going to consider it as a gold This is not, especially for games. So some of you might be kind of confused about if you're allowed to use triangles or not for games. And the answer is yes. For games, you are able to use triangles and you should use them because every game engine is going to divide these polygons, these quad versions of the polygons, into two triangles. And it's actually best to do the triangulation yourself before you move it into the engine, because that way you have control. But if you move it to the engine, that's going to do that by default for you. And you might want to do the triangulation in a different way. So for movie and animations, it's better not to use that because when you subdivide the mesh like this, I'm using Control D, it's going to create issues for you. So quad is going to be something that you use for movies and animations. Now I have prepared something else for the games, and I'm going to show you how you can optimize it even more. So around the elbow where we have deformation, we should have loops. That's certain. But we can do a different kind of loop and optimize it even better for games. So how we are going to do this? First, if you're going to deform this mesh like this from the middle, and if you're going to bring the gizmo here, maybe change the direction a little bit better and have it a little bit towards the middle. And now if I'm going to rotate it, maybe I'm going to just soften the mask. And now if I do this, you can see we have a lot of meshes here in the middle that create some kind of hard controlling, especially for the rigger. So in animation, it doesn't matter because we are gonna do that anyways because quad is something necessary. But for the games, we can go one more step further. And that's actually easy for us to do. So I'm going to use the ZModeler, and I'm going to right click. Let me select the ZModeler first. ZModeler brush, already selected. Right click on one of the vertices and select the stitch, and it's going to stitch 2 points together. So what I'm going to do, I see in the middle, this distance is kind of low, and the arm is actually almost straight. So I don't need this much space here, and probably it's best to stitch them all together. So I'm gonna start around here probably, and I'm gonna stitch them towards the middle. So like this, I go one by one, stitch them. Just want to show you, definitely it's gonna be easier in other softwares, even though ZBrush added a new retopology brush, but still I'm just gonna show you how we can optimize a mesh for games even better. So this way, we can remove like 1 or 2 rows of polygons and still have the same deformation, which is going to be easier for the rigger to do this and also less performance issue inside the engine. So it should be fine right here. Maybe I can do this here on the other side. Oops, there was an issue. First point, second point, and again, first point, second point. So now I just want to move them a little bit. So I right click and click on slide and try to bring them a little bit closer to create a good flow. And this should be good enough. So if you want, we can actually even the distance a little bit here towards the middle to avoid very long and square shape polygons. So this is going to be like being too picky and paying extra attention to the flow of the edges. And once it's done, we can compare it to the older one that we had, which I mentioned is good for the movies and films. So you can see the shape is almost the same, but we actually optimized it. So here it is. Let's take a look at its form, and we can actually see that we have one loop around here. You can see this. I'm not sure if I can select it or not, but this should be fine. So we have one loop for the rigger. We have another one here, right on the bottom. So there's no issue for the rigger or animator if they are deforming this object. And on the other hand, we have another kind of loop. So we have like a semi loop here, an extra one, but it's just for the elbow area. So we know if we remove this one totally, it's going to create very huge polygons here, which for the deformation, especially if you bend the arm, it's going to be problematic. So for now, I can select it and I can just soften the mask a little bit. And now I can just deform it. So you can see I have enough meshes here for the elbow to make sure I have enough resolution and I don't get like sharp edges here. But on the other hand, I don't have that much polygons in the inner part. So for deformation, we don't have to deal with a lot of polygons on the inner part. So it's going to be much easier for the rigger to do this. And let's check this and compare it with the other one. So let me turn the other ones off. I'm gonna turn off the solo mode and also turn on these ones. So the movie topologized version is gonna be pulled here, and you can see the difference is actually something you cannot notice. So they are identical, but they have less polygon and it's more optimized. That's what I wanted to talk about today, to show you topology is not something that you can say there's a wrong or right about it. There's a purpose that you need to define first, and then based on that, you can define your topology and work with that. So that's it. If you enjoyed this video, I recommend you to take a look at the full courses on nexttut.com. You can grab them for 40% off during the New Year's sale. Happy New Year, everybody, and use my code in the captions. Thank you for watching.